You're off the clock with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey Trish, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a crazy, busy. It sort of feels like Friday. It's not quite Friday, but trying to get a lot done before the long weekend. That's how it's been here.
You know what? Same. But this morning, it's funny. I have a call with our friend Chris Havrilla every Friday morning. It's like a clockworks on the books. Every Friday, every morning we start and Friday and Monday morning, starting in the week together. And so today I thought, today's my day to talk to Chris. No, it's not Friday. It's not Friday. So I sent her a video chat instead, like a little video, like.
I feel I'm calling it Friday though, because I am on summer Fridays. We've talked about this a couple of times.
Are
Many
you taking off
organizations have
tomorrow?
adopted, sort of, yeah. I mean, I have a couple
Okay.
things I have to do, but sort of. I'm not flying this weekend though, Trish. I don't know if you are. We haven't really talked about it, like
No.
sort of long weekend plans. Apparently, it's a nightmare
Oh, too
in
scary.
our nation's airports as well as around the world. But I got an email today. I'm a proud member, a medallion member of the Delta
Ooh.
Sky Miles program, Trish, and
Still?
I got an email. Yeah, still probably the last year. I
Mhm.
did get an email along with millions of other people from the CEO of Delta, just trying to
Oh,
address some of the things that they're trying to do to try to alleviate the stress, the crowds. There's been lots of flight cancellations. Folks who've been traveling lately, and certainly they're very worried about this coming weekend due to a number of factors. Lack of staff calling out sick. COVID is still a thing, especially in big cities.
oh,
And
yeah,
also
absolutely.
weather, of course, right? Summertime, you get always the chance of storms
Yeah.
in most of the country. Delta is sending out members of their office staff, Trish, their office workers, in a group they
To
call the
fly
Peach.
planes?
No, not that. It's not that bad yet. They call this group the Peach Corps because they're from Atlanta, right? It's their headquarters,
Oh,
the Peach State.
okay, yeah,
The
the Peach
Peach
Corps is
Corps,
coming.
and they go to the airports. So basically they say, hey, you in the office, you in marketing, you in purchasing, you in HR,
You're going
get
to
get
bag
up. You're going
tags
to
and
the
bags.
airport to tag bags and help people find
Hey.
their gate. And yeah, so I like that. I like that they all pitch in together to try to make things work smoothly. But I guess, good luck to you if you're traveling, anybody who's watching this over the holiday weekend, because it's going to be a little bit challenging out there in the airports.
Yeah, I'd like to hear. Hit us up in the comments if you're traveling. I'm traveling to Omaha actually, but I'm not gonna fly. And if you know me, so Omaha is 6.5 hours away. My, like, limit of where Trish will drive is, like, a 4, maybe 4.5 hour radius from St. Louis,
How
so
are you
that
going
is
to get the
not
rest of the way?
in it, and
Bicycle?
I was like, I'm a good driver, but I do not enjoy it. At about 3 hours, I'm, like, kinda done, and by 4 hours, I'm like, "Okay, this is it." Like,
Mm.
so I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but it's because of I looked into flying, and it wasn't that it was gonna be overly expensive. I mean, it's more than what I thought it would be, but, yeah, just in anticipation of some of these air traffic problems, I decided to drive. So someone needs to, like, think about all of us who are normally people that fly, and now we're gonna be driving places, like, I
Mm.
don't know, I need help. I need someone who has an app to, like, help me stay awake, know where to stop, where is it safe to go if I'm out there by myself.
I
I
saw
don't know.
I saw this crazy story. I didn't write it down because I wasn't sure I wanted to even talk about it, but I saw this story. Speaking of long drives,
Yeah.
apparently, Trish, for the well-to-do folks in the environs of Manhattan, New York City, et
Oh,
cetera, a
yeah.
thing to do on summer weekends is to go out to some summer place, either that you own or you
Like the
rent or
Hamptons.
whatever, out at the Hamptons, right?
Yeah.
So that's been a thing
Or the
forever and
Cape.
ever.
Is it the same? Going to the Cape?
That's not new, but what is new apparently is the traffic heading out there is much, much worse than it ever. I
Oh,
guess traffic's just gotten worse everywhere.
it's
But
worse.
folks are and apparently I've never taken this drive from Manhattan out to wherever you go in the Hamptons.
Right,
Apparently there's not a lot of places which to stop, Trish, to take
right.
a break, especially a health break, apparently. And apparently folks are turning up to urologists, Trish, in Manhattan
Oh,
to
no.
get like a certain procedure, the name of which escapes me. But
What?
yeah, so if you do this, it allows you to drive longer distances and go longer
No.
amounts of time without having to pull over for a little rest stop on the way to the Hamptons, or I guess in theory anywhere else you're going. Would you, Trish, go see
No.
a urologist to try to make it to Omaha in one shot without having to stop?
No.
Would you?
No. But I can tell you, I mean, it's definitely there's not a lot across Missouri. So it's like St. Louis, and then you go to Columbia, Missouri, which is, 3 hours away, and then
Yeah.
Kansas City beyond that. So I mean,
Although
it's
I would guess the ride from St. Louis to Omaha, even if there's not a lot of places to stop, there's a lot of, let's just say, wide open that maybe is not available to you between Manhattan and Long Island. So maybe there's
That's
more options.
true. There are tons of just fields everywhere. It's a beautiful drive. It really is. And there are some really nice state parks. I think what gets me is the fact that as a woman traveling alone, I just think about these things. Like, I can't just pull over on the road and just even to take a 5-minute rest or something like that. Like, or if I even get off at an exit where there isn't a lot going on, I can't just sit there and feel
Hmm.
safe. Whereas, like, I don't think men think of that. Do you? Do you
I've
just
never
like,
thought about that. No, to be totally honest with you.
that's what I'm saying though. Like, it's hard. It's because, like, in my mind, I'm kind of working up like, okay, I got to stop here and then I won't get to stop until there. And yeah, so there's a little bit of that. But anyway, hey, I read an interesting article today about
Can you tell?
I'm going to tell you because I have a question for you about it. So, Mensa has inducted their youngest member. She is 2 years old and she is from Arizona, right? I'm thinking like,
All
my
right. So
reaction was like yours. Like,
two. Okay.
how do you know? So the mom was like, "Oh yeah, we knew she was different and special when she started reading beyond a kindergarten level at age 2 because she's just fascinated with, the
I think
alphabet
too.
and she can
Gosh,
sound it out like she's reading. She's full
I
on
read.
reading."
I'm reading at a 47-year-old level right now, so I'm not terribly impressed.
That's
But go ahead.
interesting because you're not 47. So what does that say about you? All
Go ahead.
right, all
Yeah,
right, fair
go
enough.
ahead.
Fair enough. Anyway, my question was going to be, so she's like basically at the 99th percentile of people to get into Mensa. So I went to their website, which is I barely had time to dig into this, but I'm fascinated. First of all, you can go to the Mensa website and take a test to see. And it
If you're
looked
allowed to look at the website, or
to see if you're allowed to join.
oh,
But it
okay.
sounds like there are many factors to where you could get in, maybe some of your SATs, ACTs, whatever, or an IQ test, which it said the average person is about a 100. Their cutoff, like
Okay.
minimum cutoff, is 132.
All right.
So
Seems
I don't know.
attainable.
My
Okay.
question is like, have you ever taken like an IQ test or would you to see if you're
I don't
Mensa
recall ever
worthy?
taking one. I don't recall it.
I
I
haven't
guess I
either.
probably would, but I'm not sure why. I'd be a little bit worried about embarrassing myself at this point.
I don't remember what mine was, but I just remember, like, early on, I was newly married and, like, the internet was, like, a new thing, so who knows if this was even valid. It was like,
Well, I'm
"Oh,
sure it
take
was
this, 20
quite
minute
legitimate.
20-minute online, like, IQ test," and my husband at the time beat me by 1 point,
Mm.
and it was, like, 120 and 121 or 119 and 120. I mean, we were good, we had good scores, but we weren't, like,
Hmm.
genius level or anything crazy, but he beat me by 1 point, and do you know he
That
still,
might
to
have
this
cost
day,
some
will hold that
tension.
over my
Yeah.
head.
I don't know.
So, shout out to Dan because thank you for being 1 point smarter than me, I'm sure, in everything I do.
I have two things I want to share before we go, and
Okay,
sort of call the long holiday weekend, at least here in the U.S. Maybe it's
okay,
bank holiday weekend in places that have bank holidays. One
that's great.
is it is June 30th. It is the last day of the quarter, the last day of the first half of the year, the last day of Pride Month. Trish, I wore my
Oh,
Pride Month shirt
I do love your shirt.
for the end of
We're
June.
love.
So hopefully folks thought about that a lot in this last month. I know we have a little bit, and
Mhm.
probably want to do more next year with it. That's all I would say about that. And
Well,
I
and
want
I think we have plenty of friends we can partner with. Maybe we talk to Ben Brooks from Pilot and see if there's something we can do in advance of the month and
And so I
actually.
have a related Pride Month story I want to share, which I
Sure.
thought was pretty cool. And it's sort of got a local thing here to Charlotte, where I'm at. There's
Okay.
also a Pride Month tie-in as well. Trish, I don't know if you saw this, but Justine Lindsay will make
Okay.
history, or has made history and will make history coming up in the fall. She will be the National Football League's first openly transgender cheerleader, Trish. And
Oh,
she
okay.
tried out the cheerleading team for the Carolina Panthers. It's called the Top Cats.
Mhm.
And she tried out. She made it through the tryouts. She made it to the team, and she
She's
will be
beautiful.
a Top Cat cheerleader this fall in the NFL at the Carolina Panthers. So shout out to her. Shout out to the Panthers. I think that's a pretty cool thing and a good man, the news has been so grim and awful for
So bad.
seemingly ages. I thought a pretty good story and a good way to sort of end Pride Month with that story. So there you
I
go.
love that. I apologize I didn't know her name, but I did see that kind of flash up on the TV, the other day, and yeah, she's gorgeous. She's absolutely stunning. So good for her. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And you know what? Good for the organization for making that more open, more inclusive, you
And that's
know.
pretty cutthroat making those teams. I will admit to have watched several episodes of the making the team Dallas Cowboy cheerleader show. I'll admit it. I've watched that. That's not easy, at least from what I can tell.
It's
So
not easy, and I'll tell you what, I'm gonna brag on my sister a little bit because Karen, was a dancer from, age 5 all the way through. She was also a dance teacher and danced for college. She was, POMs and all the things for dance teams all the way through college, and she tried out when we still had the St. Louis Rams for the Rams cheerleaders. And yeah, you're right, cutthroat for sure. But she made it through several rounds, but she didn't make it to the finals, unfortunately. But super proud of her because you're right. These things are difficult. It's not a what was it? I'm wearing my Paula Abdul shirt, so I'll shout out to our girl Paula. The last thing I'll say too is she was a Lakers cheerleader, and it was the same way. She actually, if you're not, familiar with that story, go Google that or look it up, read or listen to Paula tell the story because she talks about how she like tried out and was cut. So she like had brought all these extra changes of clothes and had them in her bag. And so she'd go in the bathroom, like put on a different set of workout wear and like change her hairstyle a little bit. And she'd go try out again. And then she was cut. And so
oh,
she
so
went
she
back.
was playing the old switcheroo on them. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
But it
Yeah.
took her like 4 tries. Paula Abdul, who, goes down in history as like
I
one of the
did
perfect
that.
choreographers.
I did a similar thing at the last election when it was time to vote. Oh no,
Oh,
did I?
stop.
No, I didn't. No one does that.
Oh my gosh. We were ending it on such a good positive
I
note
know.
here
I had to
before.
make a joke. So
All right, no more jokes. Have a
happy
good
birthday,
weekend.
America. We'll leave it with
Happy
that.
birthday, America. Happy end of Pride Month. And yeah, we'll see you all back here on Tuesday.
Indeed.
All right, bye for now.